To help us dig into this case a bit more is ABC News contributor and former DHS official John Cohen in his weekly segment, Assessing the Threat. John, thanks so much for joining us. We know the suspect is now in custody. Where does the investigation go from here?
Well, Linsey, first and foremost, law enforcement will want to determine what was the suspect's intent. Why was he at the golf course? Was this an individual who was scouting a location because he intended to conduct an attack? Or was this somebody who was possibly experiencing some type of mental health crisis, who felt some type of satisfaction by posing as a law enforcement officer, pretending to be involved in the security preparations? So as Kana pointed out in her piece, they'll look at his electronics, they'll interview people, they'll seek to determine what was going on in that individual's life so that they could determine whether this was a thwarted assassination attempt or whether it was some other type of incident.
Yeah, we've discussed several times how the threat of political violence has increased. The president has been the target of several potential assassination attempts at this point. What do you think is driving this increase of political violence?
Yeah, this really is a dangerous period in our country's history. I mean, the head of the Secret Service recently described the threat environment as off the charts, saying that his agency had already investigated 10,000 potential cases this year alone. The FBI just issued a report saying that in 2025, there was a 42% increase in active shooter incidents from the year prior. And it's really the driving factors behind this. It's sort of a perfect storm. We have a country that is extraordinarily angry and polarized. People increasingly view those who oppose their views or hold opposing views as the enemy. Foreign and domestic threat actors seek to exploit this divisive environment and develop and saturate the online ecosystem with content that's intended to fan the flames of division, to increase anger, and even inspire acts of violence. We're also seeing mainstream public figures here in the United States amplify or mimic some of these narratives that are promoted by these threat actors because it may increase their ratings, or it may increase online clicks, or increase their political popularity. But most important, Linsey, is that we are seeing an increasing number of people who believe that legitimate ways to deal with things they disagree with in this country are failing, and they believe that violence is the only answer, the only way for them to express their sense of grievance, their opposition to government policies, or their own ideological or political views. If we don't find a way to break this cycle, I am concerned that we're going to continue to see the targeted acts of violence that we've been experiencing over the past several years.
What do you think can be done to address this rise?
Well, we're seeing it at the state and local level. We're seeing increasingly state and local law enforcement maintaining an awareness of the threat environment. They are using that awareness to change the way they evaluate calls regarding suspicious people exhibiting certain types of behavior, whether it be online or in the physical world. They're taking those calls seriously and investigating them. They're taking a page out of the Secret Service playbook, which is to conduct what we call threat assessment investigations, which very often involve both law enforcement and a mental health professional to assess the risk posed by an individual. And what we are also seeing is an increased level of security at special events or in and around elections, or even crowded public locations where law enforcement is much more focused on detecting and preventing physical or cyber threats directed at individuals or the events themselves.
All right, John, always appreciate your time and insight. Thanks so much.